Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all those that are global. I don't know if I did this the first time. I want to thank all of those that are joining us online, of course, to the mother campus, and of course, to our virtual campus and all of our global connections. We're happy and excited to be with you. I am going to do a recap, and we're going to talk about stealing ideas and how valuable your ideas are to you, your family, and your future. So let's get started. We want to make sure and think, hopefully, that people that have lost power are receiving power again, and those that are warm are a place that they can stay warm. So we haven't forgotten about you. Know that you're in our prayers. And at this moment, we have electricity, but you never know. I just looked at the precipitation level. One thing I forgot earlier this morning was I'm excited. And how do you forget something you're excited about? But I'm excited about our Kids Zone because they had, I don't know if it was their first, but it had to be one of their first or second Zooms. And I was really excited about how the instructors were sharing with me that the youth and the kids were so excited to talk about God, life, to be on a Zoom. And I think the tone that you set with children and to teens has a role to play in their life. And I think you have to feed them some positive for them to have results. And I was talking to the instructor, and one of my grandson, in fact, he was like, tell Papa happy day or something, or happy Sunday. And you want your children to speak positive, and you want your children to speak as if those things that were. So I'm excited for the Kids Zone and what they're going to do in the month of February. And if you want to join us, we'll be at 133 Market Point Drive next Sunday, and also 210 Pansy Road in Greenwood, and get your kid involved to the positive things that happen and go on in life. So thank you, and thank you for those that work with the Kids Zone for the House of Reconciliation. Now I want to recap a couple of things. We talked about ideas, and I want to show you how ideas are important not only to your moment, but to your present. And not only to your present, but to your future. And I want to get into the fact or how ideas are stolen because we don't have the thought process that we need to have when God drops it. And it seems sometimes so stupid, but it's a recipe. And so what I want to do is revisit some things. Number one, don't ignore your future. You do have a future. The problem is you're listening to people who don't have a future and don't know their future, so they want to disrupt your future. So I want you to understand, finding purpose is critical. The early stages of 2026, the quicker you can find it, the more faster you can go through the downfalls and the failures and be able to get to the gist of the thing that you need to do. So we talked about something, and I want to say this to you. No, it's not your norm of teaching, but it's sharing the word of God with you with real life principles and instructions for the future. So 1 Peter 3:10 talks about, for whosoever would love life, whosoever. Now, to me, that's a broad statement, especially when you didn't grow up and you didn't have maybe the support system that you needed. This tells me that I can succeed. This tells me that I'm not walking alone, though those that may separate themselves from me were never a part of the design group that God has for me. I'm going to have to say that again to you. Those that are no longer walking with you may not be a part of the group that God has designed to walk with you, because everybody can't stand with you in your present, and everybody can't strengthen you to make it to your future. So I said earlier, I'm going to take it to another level, so I'm going to share it with you. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceptive speech. You can poison your creativity. You can talk so down about yourself. And when you do that, let me tell you what's happening. You're missing encouragement, and you're afraid, and you don't have confidence, and you're doubting. I want you to know, and the last 7 days of this month, in the beginning of February, you need to learn how to believe in God and believe in yourself and believe in your gifts. They're not just going to open up like a Christmas present and there they are. You're going to have to learn the process of putting them together. And when you do that, stand on business, stand 10 toes down and 10 fingers up to God, stand on the foundation of the Word of God, reach your hands to God and say, God, guide me as I work the gift that you've given me. So immediately for the writers, guide me as I work the gift that you've given me. And I will no longer insult my gift or ignore my talents. I will pursue. And anytime that you begin to pursue, you create a separation naturally and spiritually. So things that were invited in your mind and manipulation that was set up by the adversary and people, you have to create a spiritual firewall to keep those things out of your creative zone. All right? So now, yes, I'm up at 10 and I'm ready now. So now, here's what you got to do for whosoever. So, I get excited just for that. I can work on that. You are the key to your destination. Yes, you are. You are the key. So when you stand before the God, you can stand before God with a clear conscience that you have exhausted every gift and every opportunity that God has given you. You are gifted. The problem is you don't see it. And that's what I'm going to talk about, stealing ideas. So I use this, and I saw the excitement and I saw the energy of those that watch. And please like, share, and post, and invite people to be a part of what we do, is cracking the code. So if you don't notice, I'm dropping little tidbits for you to crack the code. Now, I see some of you joining on, and God, thank you, and I love you. I want to say this to you again. Stop doubting yourself. God did not create you to always work for other people and be a yes man or a yes woman. You have some dreams. Don't quit your job. Don't come looking at me talking about, I need to stay with you. You can't stay with me because sometimes I can't stay with me. But you need to start looking in your spiritual prayer what God has called you to do. And I'll say it again. It's going to create separation from those that are not assigned to your future. They can no longer stand with you in your present. And so it's a separation anxiety. It happens, but I'm telling you, this is what God gave me to share with you this morning. So if you're on, you need to chime in right now. Tell somebody, boo boo, cuckoo, come on, Ray, come on, Becky, you need to get on because this is going to be a word. And tell him this, he don't talk long. Now he say a lot real fast, but he don't talk long. So if you don't get your pen, you may miss your opportunity. Ideas are important. Yes, they are. You just don't have ideas just to be. I know your mind kind of crazy. We know some of us on that bus, but sometimes God drops something into you that you're not mature enough to accept yet. And when he drops that into you, he is hoping that you're spiritual enough that when you begin to pray, you say, Lord, help me peel the seed so I can plant it. So now here's the thing. There is a God part of you. And you have to find that God part. No one can give it to you. You have to get before God and say, God, what is my assignment here on earth? What am I supposed to be gifted to do? And I'm going to show you when you can almost pinpoint it. It's when the next thing that comes to your mind is something negative about the gift that God has given you. Because if you doubt yourself, others don't have to deal with you. If you self-implode, others don't have to see you as competition. And I'm going to give you an insight to cracking the code. And I want those, some of you will get it and some of y'all just whatever, I don't know. But just thank you anyway. In cracking the code, you have to say this to yourself. There's room for one more. And that one more is me. I got to let that sink in because some of y'all are like, oh, well, that's just easy to say. No, it ain't. Not to those that are working and going through. There's room. There's room for one more business. And so here's the thing that's different between those that can and those that want to. Those that can have purpose. What does that mean? I'm just not. Let me go through the hard things so my family don't have to go through the hard things. Let me go through the hard things. And let others see my struggle that they'll find their strength. Because if they think they're more gifted and talented than me, then they should be able to rekindle the fire within them. So I want my children not to hear me talk about struggle, but to hear me talk about how strong I'm going to make it and I'm going to set something up for them. See, the problem is you're giving your kids things, but you're not depositing anything in your kids. So they have no strength zone. They have no spirit zone. They have no fight zone. They have no determination zone. So then they can be manipulated because you are saying, oh, I can give you this. Hey, little Reggie, I'm going to give you this. Hey, I'm going to give you this. And so they assume that the world is going to accept them and give them anything. It is you who have the ingredients from God to put the ingredients in the pot and to start stirring it and to start giving responsibility and accountability and expectations to your children. Because it is the gift of the parent that wants their children to supersede what they're doing. Yes, I may be the foundation and grandpa and great grandpa and all of that. I don't mind that. But I want you to make sure you produce the seeds. I'll plant the tree, but I want you to grow and produce the fruit. Now, I'm a little ahead of myself, but that just, I guess as the old church would say, that just came up in my spirit, boy. It just came up and I just had to let the Lord just take me there. So I'm just trying to help you. And thank all of you for chiming in and continue to chime in. And just text somebody and say, you need to be on this. He's not going to be on here long. What time is it? Because I'm not one that like to talk a long time. Okay, I've been on here about 10 minutes. Ideas. Discover the God part. Remember, it's going to start with ideas, dreams, vision, and the power of planting. The power of planting. But before something can be planted, something has to be dug up. There's some things you are responsible for exiting out of your life. There's some things that you have allowed people to implant, you're watching, you're caught up with. It has nothing to do with your present and nothing to do with your future. Quit eating the garbage that people are putting out there for you. So now, I'm going to get to this, and I'm almost there, and I'm almost done. I've got, maybe 4 things to give you? No, 5. I'm going to give you. First of all, I'm going to go back and visit this. And I appreciate everybody that chimed in. Stop lowering your expectations. And I know what you're going to say. And I can feel some people pulling on me. Well, my feelings are hurt. Then put your feelings on the sideline. And put your purpose and intent in the game. Put your feelings on the sideline. I thank God for all of you because you have encouraged me through difficult times and as I have more challenging times. But I thank God because of between you and the word of God and the prayers of the righteous. This is what you see today. So if it's working for me, it can work for you. Stop lowering your expectations. Stop saying that you can't do this or there's so much paperwork. If it's going to be successful, it's got to have principles to stand on. If it's going to be successful, it has to have a foundation, a structure, an infrastructure, and principles to stand on. So don't hate this word I'm about to give you. Patent. There's some things you need to start the process of patent. You need to patent that because once you get it going, there are people that are waiting to steal your ideas. I'm tired of excuses. I want people who are hurt to say I'm hurt, but I'm not finished. I want people to say I'm bent, but I'm not broken. I want us to get up and push each other. Rebuild the village. Push each other to your purpose and know that there's intent in the game. So, lower your expectations. How do they lower your expectations? By controlling influence through stress and financial control. I'm going to give you that one. Because they have you thinking you need to spend money. You can't build dreams off of air. You have to build dreams off of investments, stakeholders, shareholders, and seed money. You've got to do that. No one's coming to do that for you. And no one's going to pay you enough to be able to take money to the side and put in your ideas with the cost of living and the cost of inflation that keeps rising. So you've got to learn how to think. Take less to build more. Take less now to have more later. Take less now to invest. So when that time comes, you will have something. Don't wait to Christmas to find Christmas money. Start saving now for Christmas. Here's what people do. I'm going to give you these things. And please, if you have something to say, love all of you that are chiming in. They use decoys. They have bait traps. Back in the days when I was really in marketing, we have impulsive aisles. We have put things on corners, and you see all these things hanging on. Those are called impulsive moments where a person sees something and say, oh God, I like that. That's why they change the color and it's so lively, so attractive. It's bait because it's getting you. You went in to buy one thing, you walk out with 55 things. Okay? Never walk in hungry to a grocery store. And so they bait you. They have decoys. They have this. They have displays, and they have people on the end of the corner saying, hey, taste this. And the adversary has that too. Oh, come on. You can do this. Oh, you can go do that later. No, this moment, this time is important in your life. And I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. You're looking for somebody to come get you when God gave you 2 legs and 2 hands and 2 eyes and 2 ears and 2 nostrils. Get your butt up and let's go. All right? It's no longer, oh, I'm feeling bad. I don't know what I'm going to do. You the dude got the pool of Bethesda. You the female at the pool of Bethesda. Always got an excuse. This is for the generations and those who want to rekindle their fire to understand this is our get up time. Okay? And I'm not worried about, well, waiting on the right time. If I get the right time and I see that things are in line, things are never going to be in line. People create confusion all the time. It's a decoy. Why? What you're going to develop is so big that it's going to take time to lay the foundation. You cannot build a 60-story building on a 2x2 foundation. So the work begins now. The work begins today, the 25th of January. You fasted, but have you prayed and asked God to help you crack the code of how you process and build infrastructure for what you need to set up destiny, purpose, and legacy? Yes, I'm talking to you. So here's the thing. People sit around and they steal your ideas. Why? They set a confusion trap for you. So you gossiping and you talking and you running your mouth and you're over here looking. And they're stealing your ideas because here's what they do that you don't do. They're willing to listen. And when they listen, they're able to take enough from everybody and accumulate their own perspective of what they want to do. And so you look up 6 months later, 8 months later, 2 years later, and that little building that you could have had, and you did have the money, and you knew someone who could help you get what they call it, SBA loan, Small Business Association, or Small Business Administration, you went and bought a car. Now they got the building and taking your money and building their dreams. Stealing ideas. You know why? Because when they do it, here's the first thing they do. They act as if though they own it. Some people own your ideas and own your dreams because you're talking to people that really are not a part of your present. You need to ask God to help you get a discerning spirit of who should be in your space. I'll say it again. I'm honest. I've made mistakes thinking that he or she or they are in my space, and they didn't have the backbone to be in my space. Some people don't have what it takes to be in your space. And there's nothing wrong with them being an associate or an acquaintance, but they can't be that close to you because they don't have what it takes. In other words, they have nothing to deposit into you. And so when you want to waste time, that's when you go fool with them. When you want to build dreams, it's when you have to separate. Acting as though they own it. Because when you start saying he said and they said and I think and maybe, somebody's listening to you. And most of the time, as old folk would say, a dog that'll bring a bone is a dog that'll carry a bone. Now, whatever that means to you, you take it. Let me give you these things so I can roll. All right. Number 1, intimidation. People will act like things are so impossible that you're not able to do it. And so what they're doing is they're turning around and attempting to control your ambitions by intimidation. So if they can intimidate you, you will stop pursuing and it will reduce your energy. Number 2, Mind games. But what do you mean mind games? Mind games start with misinformation, intentional deceit. You don't see it because they put sugar on it. And so when they put sugar on it, they're going to slip in misinformation that's going to cause you to doubt later. Well, that's hard. Well, they just added a new step. Well, if you get busy now, you can get ahead of the steps that they want to add. What does that mean? Now I have been grandfathered in. So now, mind games. They play on what you hear and they play on what you see. But it's amazing. You don't even have a voice in what they're doing, but they know everything that you're doing. Number 3, manipulation. Misinformation and manipulation are two different things. Manipulation is when you begin to quit. You begin to reduce your energy. You begin to reduce your drive. You know why? You're looking for a cheerleading squad. Success will be there for you at the end, not at the beginning. Those that cheer you won't be with you when you get to the end of the journey. So you have to understand, manipulation is giving up your dreams to fulfill their empty desires. There are some people that will steal your dreams for you to fulfill their empty desire. And you say, well, if they're going to be empty, then they're not going to have anything. Yes, they have. They're stealing your time. They're stealing your ideas, and they do receive something. And most of the time, it's a monetary gift of finances. So now they can go steal some. And if you're still enough, you'll have enough to eat. And God has gifted you. That's all I said. You've got to find the God part of you. And then you've got to work toward cracking the code. Next, you have to reduce, and this is a lesson for us, self-inflicted wounds. You have to be more careful about what you're going to do next than what you've already done. Because self-inflicted wounds, which means, how would I say that? Quit doing it through your emotions, quit doing it through excitement, and start doing it through intent and purpose. So I intend to do A, B, and C. I have sat down and looked at the variables. What is the best practice for me? And go find out what others have done and add those to yours to cut down on your wait time and cut down on your failure time. Self-inflicted wounds, which means, let me give you this, I need to help somebody, that you have made it and others haven't. Self-inflicted. You need every brother, you need every sister, you need every person, you need every critic, because critics sometimes can guide you, but you don't let them in your space. You just read what they say. So you have to accept criticism. And I don't call it criticism. If it's constructive to my success, then I call it transformational information. I don't get offense. I don't put the blame on other people as if though they don't like me, because some of the people that don't like me have given me some of the best things best practices that I could use. The problem is you're trying to be cozy with everybody and not receiving what you should receive. Everybody's not coming and everybody won't be your friend. Everybody's not a part of your intent and purpose, but it doesn't mean that they don't have information that you can use. Self-inflicted wounds, when you're always looking for excuses and never opportunities. Self-inflicted wounds, when you can't self-manage yourself and be effective in communicating with those that are in your circle. Self-inflicted wounds, you have an expectation of everybody else, but yet you're not meeting the expectation that you're demanding. Be the standard, not the excuse. Set the standard, live the standard, talk the standard. And let me say the self-inflicted wounds, and a lot of people will probably disagree with that. Quit changing your mind to the people you're dealing with. Because I always say this, I don't have that much up here. And if I reduce it, when do I get it back? And how much time have I lost reducing it? I need to be what I am, who I am, and what I'm supposed to be at all times. It doesn't mean I'm artificial, but it means when I'm awake and my feet hit the floor, I am my destiny. And so I'm not going to be, yo, man, you know what I mean, y'all. No. I'm going to be intent. And when I see them, I'm going to say, hello, how are you today? I'm not going to go over here because this is their language. I can adjust in the conversation, but I would not adjust in my intent, my integrity, and my dignity, and my intellect, and my ability to function. I'm not reducing that. I'm going to give you an example of how to raise yours. Because if I let mine down, now how long is it going to take me to get it back up? So I don't play games because I'm in different rooms. I go in every room the same way. Now that may not work for you, but it works for me. Because if I'm over here and I'm just, little dumb Reggie, then I can't go over here and be Mr. Creative and Mr. Innovative. That's the same mind. And mine don't work that well. So I'm going to stay locked in so I can get in, stay in, and open the door for others. Last but not least, let's stop undisciplined behaviors. Let's stop it. There's some things, and it's going to hit home. There's some things you just have to stop doing. There's some behaviors you are in control of. Okay? And it boils down to decisions. And what God looks at for you and I, why would he continue to expand ideas that you don't show an interest in? Why would God continue to open doors for you when you act like you have the key to open your own doors? Never let your present finances predict your future finances. Because where you are today, life could change in 3 hours and you'll be in a different place. And the people who could have supported you and stood with you because you didn't think they had any value to build a relationship with, that you don't feel one. And I'm saying to you, everybody's important, but everybody that doesn't deserve a place in your space. God bless you. Thanks again for the Great Kids Zone. I'm excited about them. We hopefully, if the weather permits, we'll be back in person at 33 Market Point Drive and then at 210 Pansy Road. And of course, to all of our virtual campus and global connections. Like, share, and post. I know it's a lot to break down, but listen, if you were not worth it and God didn't give it to me, we wouldn't be talking. Believe that. God bless you.